We mentioned earlier about mobile applications and how susceptible they are to hacking. Mobile devices are ubiquitous in today's society, so obviously hackers are going to go after them because people are increasingly putting their personal information on them. In fact, they're almost using them as computer replacements, and they're connected all over the place to wireless networks, to the corporate network, to the home, to the PC, everything. So obviously, they're a big target. Mobile applications in general are being increasingly targeted by these hackers, and again, it doesn't matter what kind of mobile operating system, whether it's iOS or Android or Windows, it doesn't matter. It also doesn't matter what kind of device, manufacturer, or vendor it is. Now, obviously, there are some devices that may lend themselves a little bit more to hacking attempts in some operating systems as well as some apps, but by and large, it's almost even across the board. Now, attacks include those that could attack mobile apps, the data, and obviously the device itself. When we're talking mobile apps, we're talking applications that come from, say, the App Store or the Apple Store or whatever, Google Play, whatever have you. In some cases, phones can obviously use applications that don't come from a reputable place. In Android, you can get apps from other places. You don't necessarily have to get them from Google Play, for example. Now, obviously, the attack methods can be a little bit different for mobile devices, but frequently you'll find that they're almost the same as you would use for a typical host. Malicious code in some cases, theft or loss of the device, and obviously social engineering. That's a big one because people have mobile devices and not every person is definitely trained on securing a mobile device. So sometimes social engineering attempts can actually be easier over a mobile device. Now, goals obviously are data theft or destruction, stealing someone's personal data, their credit card and banking information, which is increasingly being kept on phones, obviously, stealing their credentials, passwords, and so forth, any kind of personal data, and in some cases, privacy invasion, maybe through geolocation or whatever. And obviously, everybody's connected to social media through these mobile devices, so that provides an avenue for them to get into the social media and get information that they may not otherwise be able to get. In some cases, mobile devices are also connected, say, to the enterprise network. And a lot of these enterprise networks aren't using any kind of form of mobile device management. You have the concept called bring your own device, and unfortunately a lot of organizations aren't prepared for that. So they allow personal devices into their networks, and these are connecting to the enterprise network, and unfortunately that's an avenue into the network that bypasses the firewall and everything else. Some of the mobile application attack vectors that we see, legitimate applications from the phone's application store. Let's say that these applications may not always be checked to the degree that we would like. They're not always checked for security or functionality or even performance. So there have been cases of legitimate applications, even in the Apple Store and Google Play, that are insecure and they're downloaded to the phone and they have issues that could be attacked. Obviously, malware is an issue. Mobile devices suffer from some of the same malware issues that regular hosts do. Maybe the code is a little bit different and has to be platform specific, but there's still malware out there for them. Another hacking vector for mobile devices are the network connections themselves. Unsecured Bluetooth connections is a big one. A lot of mobile devices will pair with anything. Unsecured wireless network connections. When people are at home or at their business or in a hotspot at, say, the bookstore or a coffee shop, those wireless connections aren't secure, so the attacker has a way, an avenue to go into the device through an unsecure connection and get data off, potentially. There's obviously also the threat of device loss or theft, losing your phone or your tablet or having someone steal it and you don't have a pin locked on it, so you have to worry about whether someone's going to steal the data off of it. And unless you've used some kind of remote wiping service, that's a big worry. Now, jailbreaking or rooting the device, that's another topic for discussion, whereas people jailbreak it so they can get better functionality or more functionality out of it. In some cases, however, jailbreaking can cause problems. We also have, obviously, mobile web vulnerabilities that could come from some of the mobile sites that are designed for these small mobile devices. Now, in some cases, a lot of these devices will go out and use normal websites. And even in those cases, there's drive-by code that could conceivably be delivered down to the device and affect the device itself. And all of these issues can affect the applications. It's possible to lose a device, for example, and have someone hack it, and then they return it to you, but they've got some malicious code on there in the form of one of your applications. So even device loss, physical loss, or theft could result in application hacking. Now, briefly, there's several attack tools that are out there for mobile application hacking. Some of these obviously are specific to the operating system or the phone. Super One Click and Super Boot are for Android, and they're basically used to root or jailbreak the device. Droid Sheet and Zitmo are other Android pieces of software that will install malware and affect the device. Cydia and Red Snow apply to the Apple iOS, and these are used to jailbreak the device and get software onto it. And even BlackBerry has a piece of software out there called FinSpy Mobile that will basically invade a BlackBerry device and take a lot of data from it. Now, there's obviously a lot of mitigations for mobile device security, and they're probably common sense, and a lot of them apply to regular hosts as well. Securing the device with a PIN or a passcode in case you lose it. Don't jailbreak it, because that can open up your phone to root access and allow malicious software and applications to get to the phone. Enable the phone finding service specific to the device. If you lose it, you can find it. Securing your network connections obviously is a big one. And also updating the device with patches and downloading software only from trusted sources, and backing it up, of course, is always good. So these are some of the mitigations you could use for mobile devices.